Drafting the Magic features the thoughts and opinions expressed by Christian Ilton, Eric Pesolano, and today's guest, and do not in any way reflect the views or opinions of the Walt Disney Company or any of its subsidiaries.
It's the season finale, and that means that at some point I will not be behind and officially have lost the season already, but we're here. We're at the season finale.
Bow, 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 bow.
The points don't matter because I've already lost the season, but overall total it counts, and Eric Pesolano is here for all the fun. The season finale, Eric. Season 2 finally wrapping up.
Oh my goodness. And while I have the season wrapped up, this is a big one because we're going to do something different that we've never done today. And we got to be on our toes. We'll talk about it in a minute. We were trying to figure out what idea we wanted to do for the show, and then it was like, oh, let's do this. No, let's do this. And then I came up with another idea. So,
and my response to that was an expletive.
Yes, it was. Yes, this is a family show. I will not be revealing exactly what was said. But no,
it was oh poop. That's what it was.
Yeah. That's what it was. And
oh my gosh, Eric, a big show here for the season finale. We are going to try to draft the perfect day at a Walt Disney World theme park. The only thing is we don't know which park we're drafting. Nope.
No, we do not. Full disclosure, and we're not making this up. We have no idea which park we're drafting. That is going to be up to our guest judge, something we've never done before, and we have no idea what they're going to pick. So this is going to be interesting. I had to do a lot of prep work yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't do any prep work. Here we are.
No.
Because you know how I like to fly by the seat of my pants, and I've already lost the season episode or season series anyway. So, might as well just try to have fun with it and keep people guessing. Today, we've got a pretty exciting guest judge, Eric, for our season finale. This is the Dapper Danielle. You know her from Instagram. You know her from TikTok. You know her from everywhere. The Dapper Danielle. Danielle, welcome to the show.
Hello, y'all. How you doing?
Oh, it's the season finale. We're doing great because this means I get to have a vacation soon. And maybe I'll get out to Disney World finally for the first time in like 7 years. So
I was going to say, as you're wearing the Disneyland hat today, and I'm like, oh, okay. And we're going to be talking Disney World today too, from what I understand. So we'll see how this goes.
Yes, I already love the hand up I might have because Eric hasn't been there in 7 years, so he can't take things that he hasn't been on or to or anything. So I'm gonna say, whenever we do a Disney World show, at least until he goes back, I've got an upper hand and I will take it. But before we get to our draft today, Danielle, tell everybody about you, how you first started falling, I guess, in love with Disney, and then how everything went to you being this amazing Disney Instagram content and TikTok creator and everything else.
Oh, stop. You're just buttering me up. Anyway, and so again, hello, I'm Danielle, known as the Dapper Danielle. And typically I talk about random Disney things in the middle of the night that you probably don't care about, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And so it's a mixture of Disney history or just whatever tickles my fancy. I walk around the park and I'm just like, hey, I know something about that. I'm just going to go ahead and do a video on it. And that's basically my content. I got my start though as a Disney World cast member. I did leave the company in November of 2021, but I was one of the first cast members to come back post COVID. I had some of the highest in seniority and training when Disney Springs was the first to open up. So I taught everybody how to wash their hands and wear a mask. And that was my main facilitation job, was to do that. And so I was just doing videos as a way to detox after my really long shifts. I was filming in my car in the middle of the night in the Grapefruit Garage of Disney Springs. And it just slowly morphed from there. And here we are now. And it's amazing to have this social media community from all around the world, people coming together, just listening to my obscure Disney knowledge that I have from my time as a cast member, and also just as a time of being a Disney nerd my entire life. Grew up as a Disney kid. First time going to Disney World was when I was 2 months old. Do I remember it? No, but it's been ingrained in my family's culture. So I definitely a Disney kid from the very get-go.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Well, Eric and I can definitely relate to the cast member vibes, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about that off the show. But regardless, we're so excited to have you here for this big episode. And Erik, you have the best ideas, and I hate you for it because it drives me insane. So today we have told everybody that we're doing the best Disney park day in Florida. And you were like, oh, well, what if we just let Danielle choose which park we're drafting from? And all I'm going to say is if she chooses Blizzard Beach, I'm screwed. But I don't think she will. But Erik, this idea of yours, it puts us, this is completely offhand. We have no idea what we're doing right now.
For the record, any true Floridian and local knows that they would never pick Blizzard Beach first. It's always Typhoon Lagoon. And we just end the conversation, hang up the phone, we're done.
Yes.
Luckily for Christian, I made sure to limit it to just the 4 main parks, so we don't have to worry about any water parks today. But yeah, I got a expletive-laden text message string from Christian once I said, "Hey, why don't we try this?" And we'll give a little more power to the judge. From
He's
the
like, "You're a genius. I hate you."
Yeah. That's usually the conversations we have when we're trying to come up with a topic for the show.
Love it.
So anyway, before we let Danielle make this decision, what do we have to draft, Erik? Number one, we have to have experienced it. That's always our big thing.
Yep.
But tell the people what exactly we have to be doing here today.
All right, here's the rhythm. It doesn't have to necessarily be in this order, but we're going to make our 5 picks. 2 of them have to be attractions. 1 of them has to be a dining location. It can be table service, or it can be quick service, or it can be a snack. It doesn't matter, just a dining location. 1 entertainment offering. I don't care if it's a street performance. I don't care if it's a parade, fireworks, whatever. And the final pick, as always, like we like to do, is a wild card. So that's where the creativity comes in. You can pick whichever you want from the above categories or something else to try to round out your quote-unquote perfect Disney day, which if you're only doing 5 things when you go to the park, it's probably not a perfect day. But for the context,
I'm lucky if I go on a ride when I go to the park,
Well,
so I think that's pretty good.
You just be walking around. Yeah, exactly. So because of time, we only select 5 each, and then we'll figure out who wins the season finale here in season 2, drafting the Magic.
This is, my heart is beating. I'm waiting her answer. So let's turn it over to Danielle. For the first time ever, our guest judge is going to tell us where we're drafting from. Danielle, the floor is yours.
First off, let me just say I am honored. Thank you for letting me make this momentous choice for y'all. And I am sorry. I do think I'm going to have you at a disadvantage, my friend. I am picking Hollywood Studios.
I had a feeling. I was like, she's going to go obscure. She's not going to make us do Animal Kingdom, but she's going to go obscure. She's not going to go, oh, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, like everybody's, for some reason, favorite parks. We're going to go a little deeper. We're going.
If any of my followers are listening, they're not surprised. They're just like, yep, this checks out. This is normal for Danielle. So actually, you guys have a much harder choice because people are going to be like, well, Danielle lives in Epcot and Hollywood Studios. That's the joke. So are your choices going to be things that I am very vocal about, or are they going to be things I'm just like, no, those are like the secret under the radar stuff. So I think the Hollywood Studios is the best way to go. But first off, this was picked because it's the easiest one to get into for parking as a local. So that's really true. That's what we're doing.
Logistics are the most important part of any Disney day. Don't want to waste all your time trying to get there.
Exactly.
No.
Also, this helps me a little bit. I'm not going to explain why. I will later. But this selection kind of helps me, so I'm a little excited about it.
I'm curious as to how you think it helps you. So that's going to be interesting. But
I should point out when I say helps, it's more like does not hinder.
Yeah. All right. Because you've done some stuff. All right. Well, let's get to the draft. We have the Dapper Danielle as our guest judge, and I get the first overall pick here in this draft of the day. The draft of the perfect day at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Insert suspenseful music here.
Dun, dun, dun. And I'm going to go against my heart. Because
sometimes you have to.
My heart is a certain attraction, but I'm going with the one that is the icon of the park. Give me the the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror as the first overall draft pick in this one. There are other attractions at this theme park that I probably love more, but when I'm thinking about the perfect DHS day, now that the Great Movie Ride's not there, you have to go on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Eric, what do you think?
I don't sense any hostility in that answer at all.
Dustin, are you listening?
Yeah.
Eric, what do you think of me taking Tower first? You might not have thought I would go there. Or you might have, I don't know.
I thought you'd go there eventually. Maybe second.
Okay.
But it's a top 2 pick, in my opinion. So you taking it first keeps my plan intact, so I'm fine with that.
Wow, interesting. Well, let's get rid of your opinion and let's go to the guest judge for hers. The Dapper Danielle, what do you think of Tower of Terror?
So to be honest,
she don't like it.
I don't
Here
do
it is.
thrill attractions. So I do not do attractions that have dropping sensations in them. However, Tower of Terror is one of my favorite cues and themings of an attraction. So this is the one that the cast members, they know me. Oh, the Tower of Terror family, they know me. So they'll see me come in with my family or the group that I'm with, and I get to the very end, and before I can even say like how many are in your party, they're just like, okay, 1 for the chicken exit. How many are the rest of you? And so they know that I'm the royal bag carrier. I take everybody's backpacks and I go to my own little private elevator to go downstairs and wait for everybody else. But I love going through that queue and seeing the storytelling, the music alone. Oh my goodness, the background music. So I don't know. It's a 50-50. It's not bad. I don't mind waiting in that one with other people if I have to.
I'll take a not bad. That's a lot better than I usually start. I will say I used to be the same kid of the immediate exit, and then I got put on the Tower of Terror team here in Southern California, and they made me ride it like 20 times in a day, and I figured my life out. So, and now if I don't go on it, I'm chastised by whoever I'm with. So that's why I go on it now. I still don't love the dropping sensation, I'll tell you that. And I will still grab on tight to whatever is next to me, whether I know that person or not. They will have my fingerprints in their arm, probably. But
Last
Eric,
time Dapper Dad and Mom wrote it, Mom did the same thing. She grabbed whatever she could, which was Dad's pant leg.
Hey now.
In the process, she also grabbed his leg hair. So there was one area where it was like the pant was sticking straight up there afterwards, after the ride, and he had a bald spot there for over a year because of that ride.
These are the stories that need to be told on the internet.
Oh, yes.
I love it. I love it.
I don't think I've ever told that one yet.
Oh, a DTM exclusive.
I was just about to say the same thing. A DTM exclusive.
Oh boy! All right,
a logo for that or some sound effect.
Eric, she doesn't love my first pick, but she doesn't hate the first pick. Where are you going to go here in round number 1 for your first overall?
Okay, this is controversial, and I may need a judgment on this.
Interesting.
Okay, when I make this pick. And I'm going to give it away just by my first explanation here. I've never been on this attraction in Florida. But it's the exact same thing in California. Am I allowed to take it?
Oh, I think we leave that up to the judge.
That's why I say I need a judgment.
Yeah.
If it's what I think it is, I might argue with you.
It is, but go ahead and please argue.
Argue. We love it.
Because the storytelling is not the same in the queue.
Oh, I don't think it's the same.
Nope, it's not the same. Now that you said that, it's not the same.
Oh.
Okay.
Think of a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, yes. Then yeah, it's basically the same.
Thank God, because I needed that. That was my strategy at number 1. And I know you said you don't love dropping sensations, but it's so quick. I'm hoping you still love this attraction. I'm going to take what I think is probably one of the best attractions ever designed, ever built, and ever executed, even though some of the things don't work all the time. But it's still wonderful. I'm going to take Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at number 1, just for the sheer scale of this thing and the awe factor. It's a must-do every time you go to, well, in this case, Hollywood Studios, but even Disneyland. So give me Rise at number 1.
That's a good one. I believe this is the second or third time you've taken Rise at Hollywood Studios, even though you've never actually been on it at Hollywood Studios. But Danielle, what do you think of Rise of the Resistance?
I think it's a great choice. I do love Batu. I think some people were really questioning about it when Hollywood Studios was going through that phase of like, okay, are we seeing how the movie is made, or are we immersing you into the movie? And once Batu opened and we saw how immersive it was and how it brings people into the movie, I was like, you are all forgiven. I love this so much. And I was really freaked out by Rise of the Resistance the first time because I heard there was a drop, but it is so quick. I just have to do some breathing exercises, and I've gotten to the point where I know the sound effect in the little virtual
Mhm.
area as you're like hearing the locking noises. I've gotten to where I know, okay, lock, click, breathe, drop. And I've gotten pretty good at it. So I can mentally psych myself up for that one. And I love the attraction. I don't love waiting too long for the attraction, but I do love
Mhm.
the attraction.
Did you know where the drop was going to be the first time you wrote it?
Yes, because I made everybody tell me beforehand so I could
Okay,
mentally psych myself up. That's the thing. Like when it
that's a good.
comes to opening day attractions, even when Tiana's Bayou Adventure finally opens, I
Mhm.
might not write it right off the bat. I need
Mhm.
other people to go check it out for me first, and then I will write it.
I had to do the same thing with Mission Space the very first time back in the day, and it's early, the early part of its
See,
inception.
I
But
only rode that for the first time because I got a cast member preview and I could see it with the lights on. So I knew where all the
ah,
drops were and I could see how big they actually were in real life and not just in the dark. That was the only reason why I could ever ride that ride.
Oh,
oh, interesting.
So yes.
what a weird way we all have to process rides,
I
though. Like
Yeah,
know.
and
it's not just like everybody thinks, oh well, I have to go on it. And we're all like, can we make sure everybody else lives first before we?
And I think that's a blessing about being a local and an annual pass holder. It's like, okay, if I don't get it through today, I'll be back next week. Maybe I'll do it then. Who knows? So there's no like need to like have to go on everything. Like it's a once in a lifetime thing, like a lot of people. So it is a blessing in that sense of I can be like, no, I just don't feel
Nah.
like it.
And another disclaimer, while we're in the middle of this topic, I purposely left off Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway from my list because I know the queue is different and I have not been on it there yet either.
Yes.
So
And that's the
I
other
will not need a
argument is
judgment
that they're
there.
the same. And that's where I thought you were going with this.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
people think that they're the same. And I'm like, no,
Mm-mm.
our scenes and our screens, some of them are flipped, some of
Hmm.
them are different.
Hmm.
There's some animatronic pieces that are totally different. So I was like, no, we're like similar. We're sisters, we're not twins.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. It's more fraternal than anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if I take it down the line. I actually haven't decided yet, but I have
Oh.
been on it in Florida, so I
Hmm.
can say that. But where I'm going to go now is something that, first off, I will put this disclaimer that I love this, but I feel like I have to take it now because
Oh.
there are things that have been taken out to make room for Star Wars and everything else, that there are a lot less amazing entertainment options in Disney Hollywood Studios than there
Oh,
were, let's
don't get
say,
me started.
15 years ago. And so, while I, again, love this and it's a must hit every single time, I might push it later on a normal draft. But I'm going to Indiana Jones Stunt Show Spectacular because I think it's still one of the best give you a look behind the scenes of movie making that Disney does. And, the whole storyline of, oh, this is one of Harrison Ford's stunt actors and look at all. I think it still captures the heart of what Disney's Hollywood Studios was back when they called it MGM Studios and other names. But I love Indiana Jones Stunt Show Spectacular, and it's every single D23. I'm ready for them to rip the Band-Aid off and tell me that it's leaving. And I don't know if
Oh,
that's coming this year with the expectation of the expansion of Animal Kingdom officially being announced instead of just blue skied. I, do you keep Indy in both parks? I don't know. I'm getting nervous, but I love Indiana Jones Stunt Show Spectacular. Danielle, what do you think of that pick?
I love Indiana Jones Show Spectacular. As a theme park, I'm not a historian, but as a history nerd and how much and how prevalent that was in the opening of this park. Shout out to Hollywood Studios celebrating its 35th anniversary on May 1st, by the way. And so that attraction is also celebrating 35 years. There are multiple cast members that are the original cast of that show that are still there after 35 years. And they're spectacular actors. And I would agree with you. Even though I've seen the show many, many a time, it gets to the point where not every show is the same. And I can see, okay, they're having a technical difficulty with that air pressure piece right there. So you can see that they're working around it right here. Oh, that flame effect did not go off. I can see that they're running around over there. I love looking at those little bits and pieces now, even after seeing it multiple times.
It's just a great show. And again, like I said, I'm nervous every time. Whenever they announce the next thing for Hollywood Studios, I worry that instead of getting rid of Lightning's Racing Academy, which should have been done the day it opened, they are gonna. I just feel it, and it scares me. Eric, I know you've seen it. What do you think of Indy?
Hold on, I'm taking Lightnings off my draft
And
list.
scratch that one. Impressive animatronic. Just does
Yes.
nothing for the location. And it's
Oh.
so hard to get to.
Yep.
Well, I've never even seen it in person. I've only seen videos, so it wasn't on my list anyway. But I was
Which
like,
is crazy
oh,
for how
what
weird
is
the attraction
this?
is, how viral some of those videos get of that one little show. I'm just like, dude, crazy.
Oh my goodness. No, good pick there, Christian. That's a strategery pick. I appreciate it. And that's gonna have to
Strategery.
lead me into the same exact thing here. My pick number 2. I have to go strategic. So it's better out here in California. I think there's not a whole lot of doubt to people who've seen both of them. But if you're only going to Florida, I say you have to see this. It's Fantasmic. I mean, well, look, when you go to Florida, you have to see Fantasmic, even if
you're sitting on the ground and you don't have stadium seating that can't sit in a giant audience right there. How dare you?
Okay, I feel a lot better about this than I did about 30 seconds ago. Because anytime I ever bring up Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios, which I enjoy, by the way, even though
It's pretty good.
our
Not
show out
bad.
here is better when Danielle was talking about when you see like little things that they have to work around during the show, like, oh look, there's a giant fireball, you have to try to figure out how to work around.
Oh, look, a towering inferno.
Look, a towering inferno, the dragon's on fire. But
Barbecue lizard.
I'm going Fantasmic at number 2, and now I can. There's a bunch of reasons here. First of all, I do enjoy it. So all of my colleagues out here in California, you can. I'm not going to say it. This is a family show, but this is where I was saying earlier that this Hollywood Studios selection actually helped me, because I've seen Indiana Jones and I've seen Fantasmic, so I have much more entertainment offerings that I can select from. Because when we go to the other parks, my family traditionally is like, no, we're not seeing a show. So there's a lot of shows I have not seen. So this is at the other 3 parks anyway. So this is huge for me. Give me
Oh.
Fantasmic at number 2.
Before we get Danielle's opinion, I will still say I think Disney World is better for the 2 reasons I've always said it's better. Because A, I can sit down in a chair and or amphitheater, and B, I can have a alcoholic beverage in my hand. You
That's
cannot
true.
do that at Disneyland, at least as of now. I think at some point that rule is going to get changed, but as of now, it has not. So that's still my favorite Fantasmic. So that's a good pick. Danielle, what do you think of Fantasmic with an exclamation point at Hollywood
I
Studios?
I do like Fantasmic. I don't think it's bad. It is not one of my favorite nighttime spectaculars. There are some people that like, there's some girls, they are Fantasmic girlies. I am not a Fantasmic girly. If I see it with other people, that's great, but it's not a go-to for me every single time. I like Disneyland's. Theirs is not bad. Theirs is pretty good. But having an actual seat, like Christian was saying, I do like our amphitheater seating. There's not a bad view in the house.
Nope.
You don't have to worry about one person standing in a really tall 7-foot person, like standing right there in the very center, blocking the entire stage. Yeah, and we'll see. Disneyland's Fantasmic is still gone right now, so things are still up in the air of how that's going to return too.
Yeah, I'm really nervous. And I know they've touted up this new fight between Mickey and Maleficent, even though it's not going to have the dragon. But I'm worried because that was our thing. That was the thing of the Disneyland Fantasmic. That, and that we have the Mark Twain, which is a far superior ship at the end of Fantasmic. Although I love the Steamboat Willie ship. I love the nod. We can put a lot more characters on our boat. So, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous about what Fantasmic's going to look like coming back, because that dragon was iconic, and
It was.
boy, that fire was. I still can't believe that happened. Like it happened a year ago, and I still can't believe.
Yeah,
it.
but you know what else is iconic? Like Danielle said, I mean, people's heads just bobbing by while you're trying to watch a show because that's where the foot traffic has to go, right through the middle of
Right.
all that.
Yes.
And there is something weirdly nostalgic about hearing the Disney Mania CD playing as you're entering and exiting the Phantasmic Theater here
Mhm.
at Hollywood Studios.
Mhm.
That's
It can
right.
either be,
To me, that's the only drawback for that logistical show experience is the 7.5 mile walk to get to the amphitheater. But aside from that, no, seats, give me them all day, and the beverage. Yes.
Give the cast a hand for. I mean, they keep you entertained as you're waiting for that show.
those
Whether
glow cast members, the ones
honestly,
that do the glow sticks, and they're really the ones starting the wave every single night. They're the MVPs when it comes to that.
and they better be getting paid performer rates. That's all I'll say, because they're on point the whole time.
Now I want to see a wave at Disneyland. How would that work?
Maybe more like a ripple.
Bunch of
Yeah.
people getting decked.
Be a lot of yelling.
All right, third round, and so I've already got an attraction and a show under my belt. The show
Mhm.
was really what I was worried about, because if Eric took it, I was going to have to take Phantasmic, but luckily I took it first, and he had to take Phantasmic. We'll see whether that falls into judgment at all in this. But now I'm gonna go eat, because gosh, I'm hungry. And
This is the one I'm most interested in for y'all. Is like, okay, I've gotten to try all the restaurants here in Hollywood Studios here recently and all their new menus. Y'all haven't. So are you going to pick the right one or the wrong one?
I will say, and this is going to give away something to everyone. I'm planning on 2 food picks. We only have to do one, and we have that one wild card at the end. I'm planning
Oh.
2 food picks. So stay tuned for my latter pick. But my first pick is going to be the restaurant that I fell in love with as a kid, and I still love, even though the burgers aren't that great. But I love sitting in a car and watching old movies. And so I'm going to Sci-Fi Drive-In Theater, Diner Theater thing. I love it so much just for the atmosphere. I know it's not the best food, everybody. I'm not sitting here saying it's the best food in the park, but I think there is, again, a Hollywood regality of it, and it's another one of those that I fear is on the chopping block at some point, because it's a big show building. You could do a pretty cool attraction back there if they wanted to. We'll see in the future, but I love the old school vibes it gives you. I think it's I guess a content creator's awesome dream backdrop of having a drive-in theater, but you got to get all the kids that are picking out their chicken fingers and fries out of the picture. But it's a cool
I was going to
area.
say, as the content creator that's trying to take video and photo in there, it is not
There's no
easy
lighting.
to,
The
because all the
lighting's
lighting
so
in
bad.
there.
Oh, it's so bad. But I do love the vibes that it gives. And so
Yes.
I'm going with Sci-Fi. What do you think of Sci-Fi, Danielle?
I agree with you. The vibes are there. The burgers are not necessarily. They have gotten better though. I will
Yes.
say, when I went in 2023 and I went with my brother, we did it's the flying saucers. It's one of the regular seats in the very back. Love those more so than the cars, because if you're a party of 2, you're not sharing with somebody else. And you actually can see your food because you actually have a light up above you, and you're not just like that little tiny dim light right there on the top of the dash. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not one of my favorites, but I get where you're coming from with the vibes.
I think it's just the vibes are everything there, and I think there are a lot of restaurants on the Walt Disney World property that the food is good, or it's just okay theme park food, but I would say better than okay theme park food from other theme parks that you might go to. But the vibes set it over that. I mean, you go over to Epcot, Coral Reef, the food is good, sometimes better than good, but good, okay. But the vibe of Coral Reef is unbelievable. So, I think they do the vibes of the restaurants very well. Eric, what do you think of Sci-Fi? I know. Wait, is this one that you haven't been to? I forget.
Sorry, I was Googling the word regalty that you used
just
a minute ago. Turns out it's not a word.
Oh, is it
But
not?
yeah, regality was
Yeah,
what
that's
you
what
were
I was
looking
going for.
for.
Yeah, we know.
Okay. No, I've not been to sci-fi.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember, and I wanted to take it because if you took it, then there's only one food option I really could go with, and I'm saving that for the end because I'm 100% sure you haven't been there yet. So,
Which is good for me because I have 2 food locations on my list as
Ah,
well.
good.
And I knew you wouldn't take either one of them. So
Good.
I think I'm okay there.
We're going to the Backlot Studio restaurant over there by Indy, aren't we? Anyway, whatever that's called.
Be that quick
place.
service.
It's called Backlot. You're correct.
Yeah, yeah. It's my family made the executive decision that we were eating there one time, and I was
Because everyone gets desperate and they're like, okay, this is the closest food thing to us instead of walking around the corner. And they're just like, we'll just go here. It has everything for everyone. And I'm like, yeah, but you're also picking the worst seating next to the condiment bar. And all of a sudden you have some kids start screaming their head off. It is not the most relaxing location.
I would rather walk to Magic Kingdom than stop there if I had the choice. That's all I'm gonna say. Eric, your round 3 spot.
Well, now that you said you're holding off for another location you don't think I've gone to, I think I can wait for my food selection here.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have. I don't know. Maybe they've just changed the menu. Who knows?
That's a good point. Gosh, I really don't think you're going to take my food location, so I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm going to go with a second attraction.
Oh.
Okay. And it is the second attraction that is both duplicated here on the West Coast and on the East Coast. The difference is, well, the 2 attractions are not identical. The difference here is I've actually been on this one in Florida, so I can take it. I'm a very competitive person. I like points. I like beating people into the ground. So I'm going to take Toy Story Midway Mania.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it, man.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite attractions of all time, not just in Hollywood studios, but anywhere, just because of the competitiveness, and my hand-eye coordination has never been better thanks to this thing. So give me Toy Story at number 3.
That's pretty good. Toy
That
Story
is a good
Mania is
one.
pretty good. Love that attraction. Everybody knows that. It's why I lost the first episode of this entire podcast, because I took it over Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and I'm still regretting it. But anyway, Danielle, what do you think of Toy Story Mania?
I love Toy Story Mania. This was another one that during my time as a cast member, I was blessed to be able to do a cast member backstage tour, which was basically them just us teaching us about the ride, about how it operates, all the nooks and crannies of it. And it really made me have an appreciation for this attraction. I love the storytelling because we have Andy's backyard and the story of like you're going in through the backyard into the house, and your load zone is Andy's room, and you're going under the bed to where the toys have set up this entire Midway Mania. Beautiful theming, fantastic. And I agree with you. I get overly competitive when I'm on this attraction. And have you opened each of the secrets in each of the rooms?
Yes.
In California, I have, but not in Florida.
They're basically identical in Disney World.
Okay.
So yes, I love teaching people how to get the extra special things and how to open up each of the little bits. I haven't done a video on it. It's one of those things of you have to be with me and actually run into me for me to tell you what it is instead of making a video about it.
I like how you put that you like to show people and you like to teach them, where when I go on it with somebody, I'm like, you better do this because I'm not going to lose out because you couldn't get it.
I mean, we still do like trial by fire, but I'm nice about it. So it's more like, hey, do it. But I'm like, you did great, sweetie. You missed this one, but you did great.
See, at least
ruining my ride.
No. At least you're encouraging about it. Eric and I are the ones that go on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run and yell at children if they're not driving correctly. So,
And then you hear somebody come over the intercom, please stop making the 5-year-old cry.
I've got credits to collect. I don't have time for this.
I don't care if I know this kid or not. I don't care if you're on vacation from Nebraska. You're getting the business side of things if you don't drive this thing correctly, all right? That's all.
I will feed you to the Wookiee if you do not drive straight.
Remind me to tell you guys the story of when I yelled at a 7-year-old on national television once because I ended up losing a game because of it. But that's a fun story for a different time.
Eric. What have you done? All right, let's roll into round 4. I have to take either I have to take another attraction. I have to take another attraction. And I am going to. Can't believe this is going to happen. We're going to have a Disney Hollywood Studios episode that doesn't include Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith.
Why?
Why what?
Could be your wild card pick.
No, I already said I'm doing a food. So, I mean, unless I change it, I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to go with the attraction, though, that it's not a thrill ride, but it is one of the highest demanding rides in the park. And it is single-handedly what destroyed the Great Movie Ride. And I'm going on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disney Hollywood Studios. Even though I think the queue experience is certainly better in Southern California because they didn't have to work with what was already there. They built a brand new building and could do whatever they wanted. I think the experience at the Hollywood Studio site is good still, and I do appreciate the attraction for the technology that goes into it and what they're able to do. I think it's beautiful, even though I would probably go in the queue here. I'll take the queue and the attraction itself. Plus, it's still the Chinese theater, and it still looks awesome, despite the fact that it has a giant marquee on it that says Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway instead of the great Rest in Peace, Great Movie Ride. Regardless, I'm taking Mickey and Minnie's, Danielle.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I think you got a little bit of a sneak peek of what's behind me. And if you're listening to this, you cannot see this, but I am filming in my room. And immediately behind my head is the Chubby popcorn bucket that was brought to me by Megan the Magical Millennial from Disneyland over here to Disney
Shout
World.
out Megan. Hello.
We can't get nice things here in Disney World. So she had to bring it from one coast all the way to the other because everybody knows I am obsessed. My listeners, they're just like, okay, this is a no-brainer. They know I'm obsessed with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I love this attraction. I love the characters. I really like this version and animation of Mickey Mouse and them. That's a whole nother debate for another time though. And I don't know. And see, this is where people like when I tell people I really love Mickey and Minnie's, they jump at me and they're just like, are you disrespecting the Great Movie Ride? I said, nay, 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 nay. I loved Great Movie Ride. I got to tour her also as a backstage tour. I got to walk on the yellow brick road, y'all, in Oz. And I got to see the Western scene and all that is all this other cool stuff. I got to experience all that firsthand with the cast members, and that was amazing. And so I have a deep appreciation for that lore and for its impact into animatronics. Number one, it was a lot of testing that went into that ride and what was going to move on later. And I don't know, I think it's a good fit. I'm happy that it was the first attraction to really feature Mickey Mouse. And I think it's really cute. It's a great family-friendly option. It's a great AC option. And it's just goofy. It's fun to watch. It's another one that I like to watch from every single car. Everything is different, no matter which car you're in. You can find Crustacea in every single car, which is another great little tidbit. She's a little crab, if you did not know. She is hidden in each room and only can be seen from certain cars. And yeah, that's a really great choice.
Shout out to our buddy Mark Bricky, who was on episode 27 with us with the Hey Bricky YouTube channel. He goes into great detail of everybody's out for Goofy because he crashed. No, Mickey and Minnie were the problem here. They put a dog in the trunk and then they ran into a track switch. And everybody fights for Goofy, wants Goofy's head on a stick. No.
He was just there collecting a paycheck and he was just minding his own business. He was just being a good tour guide. He didn't know. He was trying to focus on the track in front of him.
Yeah, that's all he was trying to do. He didn't know the track switch was going to happen. It's not his fault. Anyway, Eric, you have not been on the one at Hollywood Studios. Have you seen videos of Hollywood Studios set up at all, or have you completely avoided it?
First of all, story of my life getting blamed for things I didn't do. Jeez. No, I've purposely not watched videos of anything from Florida because I know there will be a day where I will get to experience it and I don't want to ruin it. Fair because I know mostly it's the queue that's the big difference between the two. But I still will not watch the ride through over there because I know things could be slightly different. So I didn't want to ruin it. I did have a former colleague of mine get to go out there during construction and he showed me some things. But nothing that would have spoiled anything for me, which is nice. My favorite thing about the one here in California is that it didn't replace anything.
Yeah.
we got it in addition to. So
although it could
good pick, though.
replace Roger Rabbit, and no one would miss that attraction. I'm just saying.
I need you to not slander Roger. Okay.
I don't
I'm going to
care.
need you to do that.
Don't care. Also, can I just PSA for Disney? I understand that there's no height requirement for Mickey and Minnie's, but my 2-year-old getting flung around by a tornado, it's not the easiest thing for us as parents. I might have thrown a little bit of a height requirement on that. I don't know.
The
Well, it's all
2-year-old,
because
I
the
get thrown
bar-
around too.
Right, it's the bar, because you just depending on who you're next to.
Uh-huh.
If you're next to someone that's a little extra blessed, you're like, there is nothing holding me into this attraction, and
Nothing.
you're bouncing around all over the place.
That bar hits my thighs because, spoiler alert, I'm like 9'7". So when it
Right.
hits, my legs, if there's kids sitting next to me, it's a safety hazard.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless, that is my round 4 pick. I didn't think it would be that much of a great pick with Danielle, but that being said, ever since she pointed it out, all I'm staring at is her Mickey and Minnie stuff behind her. So I'm okay with it. Eric, you are gonna go food in round 4?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with
Ooh.
food here. So I don't know if this will be a shock to anybody, but I've always said I'm a 75-year-old at heart, and I always have been. And I love stuff from eras long, long ago. And I absolutely love sitting in the Hollywood Brown Derby and just having a quiet meal. It's never been loud in there for me. I don't know what anybody else's experience has been, because I know everybody's allowed in there, and I'm sure families go in. But the best duck breast I've ever had in my life came from that restaurant, and I will never forget it. And it was also the first time that I went and saw Fantasmic right afterwards. So yeah, it was kind of it literally was a package deal at the time. But I love the Hollywood Brown Derby. I love that classic feel, and it's turned back the clock a little bit. So that's going to be my food location here at number 4.
Brown Derby. I've heard great stories, but I've never been inside the building. So we will have to go to Danielle for her expert advice, because I can't give anything here.
I do like Brown Derby. I really do. Honestly, I did not think that's where you were going. When you were saying like comfort food and like different generations, I was like, oh, I was about to say, oh, you really like Dad's pot roast over at Primetime Cafe. And then when you said Brown Derby, I'm like, oh, that is not what I thought we were going with. But Brown Derby, it is a classic. It is a Hollywood Studios icon. It does change the menu a little more often compared to some of the other options here. And I had some friends that ate there recently, and they loved it. They thought it was amazing. I don't love the price point of it sometimes for the food that you're getting, but it's not bad. It is a really good option. It is nicer. Like during holiday season and Dapper Days happening, it is so cool to go in there for holiday Dapper Day and just see all the beautiful people dressed up in their 50s and 60s inspired wear, and they're enjoying the Brown Derby. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
so that's a good choice.
That would be a cool thing to see one day. Also, full disclosure, and Christian knows, I've not been to 50s Primetime Cafe.
Yeah. Yeah. Neither have I. So.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Take it on this anyway, which means
Missing
that my
out
food
on that peanut butter and jelly milkshake, man.
that sounds terrible in my mind.
No, it is fantastic, because
that's what everybody
like,
says.
It's well, because we have an ice cream that's here currently for Flower and Garden Festival, and it is a swirled peanut butter and jelly swirl ice cream. I love that too. But the milkshake, you used to be able to go up to the bar and order it to go, and you can't do that anymore post-COVID. And I'm like about to riot because I want that back so bad. And so you only can get it from sitting down in the restaurant. That was like one of the best ones.
Oh,
interesting. I laughed hard because I know this is a audio medium, but Christian's face when I thought he was going to say, sounds great.
Are you not a fan of peanut butter and jelly?
I'm not a jelly guy. I love peanut butter. Jelly, I have a love-hate relationship with.
How did you survive as a kid?
I'm telling you. Give me with just peanut butter crusts off, please. Thank you.
Crusts off. Okay. We need to start a second.
Gosh.
As a kid.
Okay.
I've grown up.
We were about to start a second podcast.
I've grown up. I still don't eat jelly though.
No, I know for a fact as a kid I used to, and so I don't know when that developed. There, I was all of a sudden like, I don't want the jelly, thanks. Love me some peanut butter though. So, all right, let's go to round 5. Holy smokes, the final round. And I am going food here because I think this is the first time I went was my last trip in end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024 when I spent the new year in Walt Disney World, and I actually tried this on New Year's Day. And this was something that I was blown away by because I always just passed it up as, oh, they probably have just regular chicken nuggets there or whatever. Give me a quick service option here in round 5 at Fairfax Fair and give me the Korean barbecue pork belly bowl. Oh my gosh. One of the best things I have ever eaten at a quick service location. It was so good that I thought, you know what? I'm going to put that here on this draft list. As soon as you said DHS, I said, I think we're going Korean pork belly. Here we go. And I've got to give a shout out to Victor, the cast member that was there, because I was like, I'm kind of in between, beef brisket and the Korean barbecues. Don't even think about the beef brisket. You got to go with the Korean barbecue one. And it was so good. Oh my gosh. Eric, I know you probably haven't had this because I thought it was a newer thing, right?
It's still newer. It's been around for, I would say, middle of last year, and it was really a tester item, and it did pop off, and Disney's like, oh, well, maybe we need to keep this a little bit longer, and it's stuck. So it's still there.
I mean, so Eric hasn't done it because he hasn't been there in 7 years. So Danielle, I'll only ask your opinion. This I saw it on social media. Again, this was one of those Disney influencers were kind of talking about this, and I said, let's see what the hype's about. It was delicious.
Yeah, for those that are not aware of what we're talking about, there is over at Fairfax Fair when you're heading towards Hollywood Studios and towards Rock and Roller Coaster, it's one of the outside kiosks. Don't go inside underneath the underhang. That's all just the generic pizzas and like the burgers. Fairfax is where it's at. It is these they do have a macaroni and cheese option, which is amazing now. It is a beer cheese macaroni and cheese with bacon and breadcrumbs. And it's one of the only ones that actually is like a hearty amount for the price point. Very much suggest. And then the other items is that they are these like not sweet, they're more of a savory, slight sweet waffle cone. And then on the inside is some type of base. And most of them are like a mashed potatoes, which is fantastic, or it's a macaroni and cheese also. And then they have a layering of some sort of meat, and there's a couple different options. They also have a vegetarian option also. And they're all really good. I really like the beef brisket one myself.
Oh, really?
I have other friends that really love the Korean one too. I personally go for the mac and cheese, but
I haven't had the beef brisket one in my defense. So Victor apparently steered me wrong in your opinion. But
no. I'm saying they're all good.
That's
just my personal preference out of the two. Like I like that one a little bit more, but they're all good.
Gonna try it next time. Gonna have to.
And I was actually there. I have a couple of friends that work in leadership over there, and I was walking through, I was just doing my normal stuff, and one of them comes up and they're like, Danielle, have you tried the new Fairfax Fair food? And I was just like, what are you talking about? So then I walked over there and I had to try a couple things, and it was I made a video about it. And I don't usually do a lot of food reviews, but I made a video about it saying like, y'all, this needs to stick around. And I'm not saying I'm the reason why it stuck around. There's some other people's videos that went viral about it.
You might have been though.
It's still doing strong.
You might be the reason. Don't discredit yourself. You might be the reason it's still there.
Well, I'm sure it's just like the leadership is just like, hey, I know her. We'll save the video, present it to leadership. Danielle says it's fine. It's all good.
Oh, so delicious. Eric, you got to try it because it is so good.
There's going to be a day where we learn, because we still haven't, to stop doing this show around lunchtime here on the West Coast.
Oh, I know.
Because now my stomach is just growling.
I had a snack before coming in. Y'all didn't.
No,
because it's still like in between the breakfast and lunchtime when we start doing these usually. So I'm good like at the beginning, and then we get to pick 5, and I'm like,
my
great.
stomach's starting to growl.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And
Not a bad
because of
choice.
that, I have been influenced to also go with a food location at number 5.
Ooh.
Oh.
Both wild cards are food.
Both wild cards are going to be food. And this may be influenced by the fact that I'm starving, but I don't really care. And well, here's the thing. Most of the time we would try to go attraction as a wild card thing, but we know that drops aren't really Danielle's thing here. So
I did kind of tip y'all off on that in the very beginning
bit.
of the show.
Yeah, it's okay. Isn't it crazy? Like any little tidbit you could possibly say, we're just like, what'd you say?
Your gears are
Did you say
turning. You're
that?
like, we
Yeah.
got to alter our plan. Change the plan.
Yeah, I had Rock and Roller Coaster on my list. I can't
Yep.
do that now, so that's got to go away.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, yeah. And even Star Tours has drop elements in it. I haven't been to Toy Story
when
Land,
I go
so
on, that's the other one. If I go on rocking and I'm in the chicken exit with other people, like sometimes I won't even get as far as to the chicken exit there at the last room.
yeah.
And if I get that far, a cast member that recognizes me will look at me and they're like, "Are you lost, Danielle? Are you supposed to be here?" And I'm like, "I'm just here with my family. I'm leaving now." They're like, "Okay, Danielle, just go through the door. You're fine."
Yeah, go down
Shoo
this
shoo.
corridor.
Just go ahead.
That's funny.
I've been down that corridor too, plenty of times. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Eric, go ahead.
All right. I'm Italian. Let's do this. Give me Mama Melrose at number 5.
Ooh,
Yeah. That's all I need to say because I love Italian food.
love Italian food. There's
And
nothing.
Look, there's not a whole lot of great Italian options in a lot of theme parks around the United States of America. I enjoyed Mama Melrose. And surprisingly, it was good because we have high standards. So
All right.
I'm going to take it at number 5.
I think that's a good option. This one's actually been a major debate here recently.
Really?
Of a lot of influencers have really been given a hard time to Mama Melrose here recently. And I'm like, it's not bad. It's actually a pretty good option if you just want to carb up in the middle of your 7-day vacation to Walt Disney World and you're like, I need carbs. I'm going to be walking the 5-6 miles of Epcot tomorrow. And I maybe a little bit of chicken parm. And they've really upped their menu here post-COVID also. I think before COVID, they did not have the best chef. It has definitely really gotten better here in the past year or so.
Good to hear because I'm only basing off of 10 years ago, Mama Melrose. So.
I think if you go try it again, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. They really upped their dessert menu too. It's a little fancier now.
Give me that tiramisu with cannoli. I'm good to go. We'll be fine.
I think that's still there. That's a tried and true classic.
Yeah, that ain't going anywhere.
When you said Italian, I was like, wow, didn't have pizza Rizzo getting taken.
Yeah,
today, but all right.
Yeah, that might be the only other place I've actually sat down and eaten at.
Yeah.
And actually, it wasn't even Pizza Rizzo.
No,
it was still Pizza Planet.
Pizza
It was
Planet
still
back
Pizza
in the
Planet.
day.
Yeah.
I will say a small appreciation for the Muppets. Pizza Rizzo's not great, but at least the Muppets got a little more love in that park. Mama Melrose is good. It's interesting that you went there. You're gonna have a long day if you're eating there and at Hollywood Brown Derby. But
Hollywood Studios has been closing earlier here recently. So if you do one of the last sittings at like 7:30 and you're walking out the end of the park day, you're golden anyway.
Perfect. Time to take a nap.
Yeah, you can do a light lunch at Brown Derby and then go to Mama Melrose right, like she said, right before park closing. You're set. And you're going to pass out as soon as you get on the shuttle on the way back to the hotel. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah, you are.
There you go. That's the way to frame your pick. I love it. Oh, boy. That's the draft. That is our top 5s on each side. And so before we get to the judgment, before Eric even runs down the list, Danielle, we have a big question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we should have put on this list that's not there? Did we miss something?
You did pretty good. I mean, when it comes to attractions, there's not very many others I would pick. You got Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in there. That was the main meat and potatoes one, right? But there are a lot of options when it comes to food now that have changed here recently. And one of the top, well, I would say my top 2 food options, and my regular listeners know I'm obsessed with these two, is the current menu for ABC Commissary, which for the longest time, I don't know, Eric, the last time you went, it was just burgers. It was the exact same menu as what was over in Sci-Fi Cafe. They share a kitchen. It's very understandable. They've really upped their game. They now have like shrimp tacos now. They have, my favorite food option over there is a barbecue grilled chicken, grilled cheese sandwich. And it comes on like this beautiful toast and beautiful like barbecue, not barbecue chicken. It's actually a buffalo barbecue chicken like dip in the grilled cheese.
Yep.
And it's one of the few places where you can get these giant steak fries that are always cooked perfectly. Great place to sit down, great place to get water. So I would have chosen ABC Commissary. Honestly, I do love me some Fairfax, but finding seating a little harder.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I did
And-
have that sandwich the same day as I had a Fairfax as well.
It's a good option
Oh,
too.
good.
Right? And I told actually last time I go to there a little too much, honestly, and I talk about it a little too much, even in my stories on Instagram. And one of my followers I accidentally ran into right there, and I was like, "Are you picking up your mobile order?" And she comes up and she's like, "Danielle, I'm trying this sandwich just because of you." And I'm like, "Thank you." So hopefully y'all enjoyed it if you're listening to this episode right now. And the other one I would choose is immediately next to all three of those. ABC, Sci-Fi, and then Baseline Tap House, which is the bar over there. And they have, for the price point, one of the best charcuterie boards and one of the best giant pretzels with beer cheese over there. It is so good. My dad, we'll go as a family, just as like if we want a midday snack, we don't want to do a full meal. You want to split it amongst 2-3 people. You get the charcuterie board and the pretzel, enough for the entire fam. So
And
good.
that charcuterie board is not like the cheapest things they could have got. I mean, it's good quality stuff on it.
It is. And it's all stuff that people will eat. It's not like the really obscure, like this is your venison imported, really thin, questionable food product, or like snails. Like it's all stuff that people will eat out of a charcuterie board. And so you devour the entire thing. So it's good.
My brother ordered it, and I still feel bad for how much I ate off of it because I think he was planning it to be a meal.
And you're like, do I need to Venmo you like half of this, my guy? Because I ate like most of it.
Exactly. All right. Well, when you said that there were 2 quick service spots that have gotten better, I was like, if she says Backlot Express, I am gonna lose it.
No, Backlot Express, I can't go in there because every time I have gone into Backlot Express, whether I was a cast member or when I was just a guest or even here recently, there's always some type of EMS 911 call that happens while I'm there. So to help protect the cast members and limit the amount of times it's called, I think I'm the one triggering it. So I just don't go there
anymore. It's a service. You are taking care of people. That is good.
I know.
Safety.
Going above and beyond right there.
Safety, number 1.
Oh,
Yes.
boy. All right, Eric. Well, I know you haven't been to Baseline because that's very new. And ABC Commissary, the last time you went, that was not the talk of the town, man. Let me tell you. I used to hate it. And so when we went this past time, I was like, okay, let's try. And then I had that sandwich and I was like, I can come back here. I can come back
and
here.
You're like, all your previous sins are forgiven. It's all good now.
Yes.
Everyone gets a second chance.
Yes. Or
especially
12
ABC Commissary.
Yeah. Well, back when we were kids and my brothers would only eat little chicken nuggets or something, that's the only place we went, and
that was it.
I still have to go to therapy for it. Anyway, let's go down, Eric. How about you read the list? Remind the people at home. I know Danielle's been keeping track of everything, but remind the people at home, and then we'll get to the official judgment on the season finale episode.
All right, here we go. Christian had the first pick. He went with Tower of Terror, then the Indiana Jones Stunt Show Spectacular. He went Sci-Fi Drive-In, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and then Fairfax Fair at number 5. And for me, I started off with Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, then Phantasmic, Toy Story Midway Mania, the Hollywood Brown Derby, and Mama Melrose to wrap up Christian and I's 200th picks, respectively.
Oh my gosh, you did math.
I did, yeah. And with that, we turn it over to Danielle for the final judgment of season 2. Who wins this episode of Drafting the Magic?
I will be honest, this was a very hard choice for me, okay? Because you all picked little tidbits of things I would choose and what I would do. So for that, everyone gets a gold star. However, there has to be a clear winner when it comes to a drafting season, right? So what I did was I went through my top options and I had to do a little check mark next to which one I would choose out of that day. So the one that got 3 out of the 5 check marks was Christian. Christian did win with Indiana Jones, Mickey and Minnie's, and Fairfax Fair.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, Eric, the 2 that you
finale.
were very close with were Rise of Resistance and Midway Mania. Those 2 were you did good when it came to the attractions.
If I hit my attractions, that's all I can be happy about. It is, part of my Disney story. If I get the attractions, I know I've done well.
There you go.
I will say when you were reading those lists, I'm like, this is pretty balanced. Like we did pretty good on a good day at DHS.
Right.
Because, and let's be honest, DHS, there's still a lot to be done there. There's still, it's gotten better for families and stuff like that.
There's still a lot that's closed there still. So Little Mermaid is slated to open. We don't know when exactly that is.
Can't wait for that show to reopen.
There are quite a few gift shops that are still closed that have amazing theming that are still trapped inside there. We don't know if they're even clean or if they're going to get a retheme.
Wow.
Half of Muppets Courtyard is still closed. I'm bitter about that. I'm a huge Muppets fan. So if you would have said Rizzo's, even though I don't love the food, I love the theming because Muppets get extra points. So if one of you chose Rizzo's, you might have gotten bumped up over the other. You never know. And
wouldn't have mattered. I haven't been there yet.
That doesn't matter then.
Can I take Pizza Planet from the past?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. No, I did not love the theming as Pizza Planet. Love the theming as Pizza Rizzo's. Hashtag the banquet hall upstairs with the disco ball. Best place to hang out.
It also got a pretty good score from Dave Portnoy with his pizza rating. I think it was just because he was at Disneyland or at Disney, but regardless, apparently he thinks it's good pizza. Regardless of all of that, Danielle, you have been an absolutely fantastic guest judge, and I'm not just saying that because I won, although it might have a little bit to do with it. But before you go, tell everybody that's a DTM listener where they can find you, what awesome things maybe you've got in store that you want to break news here. No, you don't have to break news here, but just tell people a little bit more about what you do and everything that you're involved with.
That's true. I didn't really share that in the beginning when I came on here, but that's fine. So hello, if you're still listening to this far into the end of the episode, again, I am the Dapper Danielle. You can find me on TikTok as of now. And I also have mostly the same content and some photos over on Instagram. We're slowly growing the YouTube. Right now, I'm focusing on saving all this TikTok content. I'm creating compilation videos of some of my favorites, and those are going up on in compilations over onto the YouTube. And that's the same thing, the Dapper Danielle on all the things. And the other big thing is that I'm also part of a podcast, and we do the Disney Countdown Show, and it's me and Megan the Magical Millennial, and we kind of do something similar as to the drafting system, but we do our top 10s, and usually we do our top 5s, and it's from everything from food to movies to music to rides to food again. And it's great having that a little bit of balance. Not saying that y'all aren't balanced, but you're both over on the California coast, so we need a little more representation going on the Florida side. So that's what me and Megan do. I talk about Disney World, she talks about Disneyland, and our community is slowly growing. So we even have a Discord now, and we have people talking to us that are from Disneyland Paris. They're keeping us updated. We have people over in Tokyo Disney, and it's really cool to see that community grow and thrive. So after you're done hanging out over here at the Drafting the Magic, since they're going to be in a little bit of an off season, come on over to the Disney Countdown Show, and we'll bounce you back over here when they're ready to.
Love Megan's content too. She does a great job out here on the Disneyland side. So yeah, big shout out to both of you. The show's good, and I have to say, and I told you I was going to ask you about this, I need to know how you got the idea of that churro tagline that you give on all of, I mean, it is perfect, of like, sleep tight and dream of churros tonight. I dream of churros all the time. So you've done great, but give us a little inkling. How did that start?
You know, with most great things, they're totally by accident. So when it came to the jingle of random Disney things in the middle of the night that you probably don't care about, but I'm going to tell you anyway, it was by accident. I just said it after a really long night. Like I said, I was filming in the middle of the night when I was a cast member after I got off my really long shifts, and I kind of just said it in a delusional jingle state as I was so overtired. And I had a friend text me the next morning and being like, Danielle, you need to like keep that and like keep growing that. I'm like, sure. And it just stuck. And the night dream of churros tonight was also by accident. And that was really a call to my Californian followers, because there for a long time, since California and Disneyland was still closed after Disney World opened, all of a sudden you're looking at my demographics of like where people are from. Ton of people from New Jersey, ton of people from New York. Shout out y'all. And then all of a sudden my highest number for a long time was California. And I'm like, why are you people following me? And then they were started messaging me and they're like, Danielle, our park is still closed. So we're listening to you and we're learning all about this Disney World. Like, we're so focused on our park. We forgot y'all existed, honestly. And I'm like, rude, but you're forgiven. And and so I really did it as a way to them to say, hey, dream of churros, because that's something that they love. That's something that Californians, like, y'all are known for your churros. We have okay churros if you know where to find them. They're not very often, but they can be found, just not at the normal carts.
I was shocked at how little churros were around in Florida, just because of how big of a deal it is in California. Like, it is. You didn't go to Disneyland if you didn't get a churro. Like,
right.
It's such a thing. And so I love the dream of churros tonight. I've been dreaming of churros my entire life, which is problematic for my health. But anyway, Eric, what do you think of the night dream of churros tonight?
It's perfect. I'm the same way. Yeah. No, yeah. Not only is it a great tagline, but it defines half of my life. So I can absolutely relate.
Yeah, I love how a lot of since I keep saying it so much now and it's really become part of the Dapper Danielle brand, I have been getting some really sweet messages here recently of a lot of since all my content is very family friendly, a lot of parents have their kids looking over their shoulder of, let's see what the Dapper Danielle's talking about today. And they'll bring me, the little kid will be right there. And so the kid will start saying at the end of the video, night, night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight, and becomes their night ritual with mom and dad. And I had a mom come up to me during Dapper Day and she started crying. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, Danielle, you do not understand. You have become a part of me and my daughter's bedtime ritual. And I will say to her, night, night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight. And her daughter's response, and this was from an old video when I was talking about fairy godmothers and being at the Bippity Boppity Boutique, her daughter will respond, Bippity Boppity Boo, I love you. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's so sweet. I'm dying. So I'm so honored that people have brought in my little sign off into their everyday lives and included their little ones with it. And I think that's so touching. So I'm still going to keep saying it. I think it's great.
That's so good. I dream of churros.
Don't get rid of that.
I dream of churros because they're like $27 now. I remember when it was like $4. So I dream of churros.
I remember back in the day when you could pay a shilling for them.
It only cost me 2 cranberries. Anyway, thank you so much, Danielle. You have been an absolutely fantastic guest judge. Go follow her on TikTok and on Instagram, and help her YouTube numbers too. Get those up because she's got, sounds like, some pretty cool stuff coming down the line on the YouTube.
I've made too much history videos. I can't let that content go away.
Love YouTube. Love YouTube. Love Disney history. And love the fact that the Dapper Danielle was able to stop by our little show today. Danielle, thank you so much. Keep making great content.
Thank you. And until next time, night, night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight.
Oh, that line is legendary. I hope it never goes away. Like I said, it describes most of my life. But anyway, no, Danielle was great. Glad she could join us today. And Christian, congratulations. You win the season finale. And I can't believe we both made 200 picks. I know I mentioned it a minute ago, but
we actually, I've been thinking about that ever since you said that. We've actually made more than that because, although unofficially, we did that little season 2 preview show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, we did like 3 picks each on that. So I don't.
So we made 200 official picks.
Yes, officially, and what a freaking ride it has been. But I got to take one of my new Walt Disney World picks in this episode with the Fairfax Fair because, again, that place, I don't know. She said that the menu had changed sometime last year, so it is relatively new. I don't know. I don't remember what was there before that. But boy, so I've been waiting to make a new Disney World pick, and so I finally got to do it. But DHS, I know our buddy Dustin will love this episode because we talked DHS. But
we're gonna hear about it as soon as he listens to it. I know it.
Mind. Yep. Hi, Dustin. By the way.
Yeah, can't believe you did XYZ. Yeah.
But I thought that was such an interesting pick for her to go with because that really does get into a lot of the nitty gritty of that park now, because there still aren't an expansive number like at Magic Kingdom where they have a quick service location every 2 seconds and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, we had to think about this one.
I'm just glad she went with DHS, and I know I didn't win, but I mean, I'd have been screwed if she'd have done Animal Kingdom, because I have seen 0 shows there. Like, my entertainment offering for that one was going to be something ridiculous, but I was going to try to sell it. I won't tell you what. But
Have you not seen the Lion King show?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep.
I might have to hold on to that. Regardless,
I thought you knew that though.
I don't remember. I probably did. But
all right, whatever.
I have the memory of Dory, so you know. There's a Disney reference. Anyway,
I haven't seen that show either.
It's a good show. I haven't seen the new one, but the old one.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is the end of season 2, and what a heck of a season it has been. We have officially ended the season where you won, which I'm finally. I mean, because like I feel like I didn't win the first season until like episode 17 or something, where it was official. You won this in like episode 11. If it's
Yeah, I went on a nice little streak there. That certainly helped.
Oh my gosh! But
Yeah.
good to finally get off of that. And this might be the last audio only recording of Drafting the Magic.
Oh boy.
We're getting ready for some exciting stuff here. When season 3 debuts, we will see. We still are trying to get all of our ducks in a row for that. But you know, we're going to take this to a visual side. Make sure you go on our YouTube, youtube.com/@draftingthemagic. I don't know why the @'s there, but it's there, so we're going to put it there. And you know, find us on Instagram and everything. But go subscribe, because we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming down the line, Eric.
Yep.
We don't know about TikTok. We might not be allowed to by the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost told Danielle when she was signing off. I was like, hey, I hope your TikTok is able to continue.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Instagram @draftingthemagic. Don't forget. Thank you to everybody who has jumped aboard and followed us recently. We got a nice little bump here over the last couple of weeks.
Welcome to the crew.
Yeah. So welcome to this. Hopefully you've been able to tune in for some episodes since you've joined the party here. Yeah, looking forward to doing some video stuff so people can unfortunately have to see our faces sometime soon. They might just want to stick with the audio mediums or audio media, as
not
it
a
were.
terrible idea, by the way. Not gonna match it.
As long as you're listening, I don't care. You can keep your laptop closed or your phone, you know, off, so you don't have to look at us. You can just keep listening to the video. That's fine too.
And
we'll take them any way we can get them.
And rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Yep. I did make the promise that I would record I would read.
Yeah.
Record it, but that I would read anything. So we did get one since the last time. By I Hate Snakes Jock ! What a name. It's an Indiana Jones reference, and you'll hear it as we come by here. It says, I'm a massive Disney Parks buff, and I have to say that this podcast is truly original and great listening experience. I have tried many Disney Parks podcasts, and I feel this one to be the most fun. Erik and Christian have such a great banter with their guest hosts and are consistently funny. I think we hit that today, too, by the way. Couldn't recommend this more, although I'm a little offended that you guys still haven't seen Raiders. P.S. As a friend of Christian, I would like to say nice work, pal. Still have no clue who this is. But I guessed one person, and we found out it wasn't him.
It wasn't them, yeah.
It wasn't Dustin, who's listening to this, because it's a DHS episode now. But still have no clue who you are, but rate and review. We will read the good, the bad, the ugly on this show, because we want to give y'all a voice. And also, go on our SpeakPipe, speakpipe.com/@draftingthemagic, or no, not @drafting, speakpipe.com/draftingthemagic, and we can hear your voice on this show. It should be an interesting thing to see when we get people's opinions of latest Disney Parks announcements, and maybe some of our drafts that they don't love, or maybe they love. You never know. But seriously, follow the show. Keep helping us, because we're having a blast with this, and we can't wait till we get into the nitty gritty of the video world, and y'all could possibly choose to see our faces.
Yep, it's time for us to expand and start doing some new things. I'm excited for it, and that's a wrap on season 2, my friend. It only took 4 years, but that's a wrap.
Hey, I thought we weren't mentioning how long it took. Regardless, that is a wrap. It's been a pleasure, and thank you, Erik, for coming back into this, and we're having fun with it. We want to keep having fun with it. Draft of the Magic season 3 coming soon.
Let's go.